first time I got on a plane, I was terrified. I was terrified. I was just holding on to things like this. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It was an experience I'll never forget. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I used to look forward to flying, and then I did, and so it was a really small plane, and it was very windy that day, and so we were rocking back and forth, and I was just on my seat, holding on to the edges of my seat, and my travel partner was just chill, relaxed, closing their eyes, and I was like, how am I gonna do this? And they were like, calm down. It is called turbulence. I'm like, I know what turbulence is from physics. Of course, I hadn't experienced it, but it was the scariest. It was like 40 minutes flight, but the whole flight, we were just rocking. I was like, today is the day I'm gonna die. And I don't know what made me fly. I could have easily taken a bus. I had wanted for so long to be an air hostess, you know, the glamour, how they dress, how they walk, and all that. Growing up, I was like, one day I wish I could be an air hostess. And here I was, an intern at Kenya Airways. I was in engineering school, studying telecommunications, and then there was always applications for air hostess. And one time I said, I'm gonna try it, and I did, and I was shortlisted for an interview too. And then I didn't make it, and then later I was told that here it is who you know, and yeah, a different story for another time. But I was so devastated that I didn't get it, because I thought I had the height, I thought I wasn't bad looking, and all the things they were looking for, but I didn't get it. And to be honest with you, the day I took the flight and I was like terrified, I said, thank God I never became an air hostess. I cannot do this every single day of my life. No way. So, and that is that. But yeah, I just wanted to share my experience. It was very terrifying.
Hi, my name is Vivian Ateka, and I'm from Tunza Sports Academy. Actually, we've had a trip to Nairobi via the plane, and it was my first time to board a plane from Kisumu to Nairobi. Actually, my experience through the plane, at first, the taking off was quite smooth, and the most exciting part was when we were up there in the clouds, and you could see the buildings were tiny down there.
It is an experience for someone from the village for the first time, and I was hoping they'll get that feeling that, you know, I can do it. So that's the whole idea behind them taking a flight versus them taking the bus or the train.
Then, after landing, we got a vehicle, which Uncle Elmada. There, we took our vehicle, then we came to home. After that, we rested a bit. Then, we got again. We went to take our lunch at Wangani. Food was so nice, and I enjoyed that food very much.
During the pandemic, we had told the girls to do a stay-home project for anything, for agriculture, home science, skills, you know, anything they could think of, art. And these three girls were amazing. And so the reward, I had to put the reward really high. The reward was to fly, you know, to get on a plane for the first time. And we chose Nairobi because Nairobi was going to be like their very, very first time to be in a big city, to be out of the village.
Hi, my name is Elmada. I'm currently the COO, Chief Organizing Officer for Tunza Sports Academy. We recently had our girls come over to Nairobi from Kisumu. These are the girls who won in the previous competition that was held on crafts. Our girls performed very well, and 3 of them won the opportunity to fly and come to Nairobi. And ever since, they've had a very nice time. First of all, some of them had, leave alone flying, had never driven to Nairobi. So the flight bit of it was very exciting for the girls.
Behind sending these girls to Nairobi was to expose them to what is out there.
My baby, my Valentine's, yeah. Can I hear them making my temperature the rise? If you leave me, I could die, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive, I'll be honest. Your love ain't it, totally me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your kobe, ule. Nobody never can wish you, ule. Open up, make I see you, ule. You're my love, one city. If you make a bad man sing, oh.
So we learned how to feed the giraffes, and when feeding them we were very careful not to get headbutts by the giraffes. Actually, they are very tall and huge, and unlike when you see them from afar, they are small and not that huge when you see them from afar.
And the girls also went and visited Giraffe Center, Animal Orphanage, and they got to know the animals that we have, the big fives, the small animals, the birds that were very beautiful. They saw and gazed on lions, and this was a nice experience for them since they had never seen things like this. They even had an opportunity to play with monkeys, hold them, feed them, and this to them was a beautiful scenario.
Yeah, Also, we went to the animal orphanage where we were able to see the lions, the guinea fowls, many other things, and also the buffaloes, the cubs of the lions, many other animals. And also, it was my first time to hear a lion roar. It was loud.
I'm from Tunza. Why I think this tour for the girls is important, it's an exposure to them. First, I think most of them have never been in Nairobi. Nairobi is a busy city, and I think they aspire in future to come to Nairobi and at least explore and build their careers in future. Why I think it is important in hockey, I play for the national team personally, and I think it's a motivation to them. Actually, one of the girls commented in future she would like to play against me and beat me. It's a motivation to them. So I think it is very, very important for them to get such exposures in future.
Thank you so much for everyone who has always encouraged me. Thank you everyone who has always understood what I'm doing, the dream, the vision. Not everything is so clear right now to everybody, but we are getting there. There's a reason for everything that we do. There's a reason for everything.
excited to see the impact it had on them. It created an opportunity for them to see what is there in the world and to open up their minds to the possibilities that are there.
We tried to mix things for them, just not show them the dandy side of the city of Nairobi. I decided that, you know, the visit should not just entail the upscale side of Nairobi. You know, it wouldn't make any sense to try to paint this picture of success and wealth and rich and to these girls. And so we gave them different views of the city. Like, we took them to the slums, so they could see how they are actually privileged to live in the village, not in the slums, because life in the slums is way worse, and they saw it by them, you know, for themselves, and they saw how difficult it can be if you don't have your own livelihood, or rather, you cannot sustain yourself, and you live in the city. So I felt that was so important to make them know that even though they live in the rural poor, they are privileged. They can go to the farm. They can farm for themselves and grow vegetables and grow food, and they can do other things and live in a large compound because the village has so much land. And as opposed to people in the slums who are so squeezed, and there's no water, there's theft, there's fear, there's gun presence, all these things. And they really saw that, and at the same time showing them how the upscale people live, how if you're successful, you can choose to be in an environment that you've built for yourself, that you live well, you have manicured grass, you have vehicles, you have all these things that you want. So it was a class in itself.
Went to the slums, and life in the slums is not quite easy. It's hard. I wouldn't like to live in the slums. Mostly there's a lot of pollution there, and the slums are very much congested. And coronavirus, these days, coronavirus can spread very fast.
Since they came, the girls have engaged in so many activities. We started with immediately from the airport. We drove through the highways. They saw the new express highway that is being built, that is a sight to behold. And they went through the estates, so they got to see the really high privileged areas, the middle income areas, and also we got to walk into the slums, and then they got to see how people live and the economic activities that go on in there. So apart from that, they also have been into malls, and Now they know what goes on in there. They keep on hearing about a mall. The best they've seen in their areas is a small supermarket.
We went in swimming pool. There in swimming pool, even though me I didn't know how to swim, but I learned something. Shan showed me how to swim, but I could not manage it because I never before. But that day, I really tried my best. Yeah, I was afraid when I was going to start to swimming, but the water was warm, it was not cold, so I just get in. But the children that were there, the kids were really enjoying the water. But me, I was just, I could not enjoy that water because I never. So I just dipped myself into water. Then I started. The experience there, it was so tricky for me to start. Then Shan held my hands. Then she showed me how to move. Then I started. At some point, I borrowed a floater. Then I started using a floater. That time I saw I could move with it. So I used that until I could now move with the free hands without a floater.
Actually, in swimming, it was not my first time, but I really enjoyed because it was warm water and it was quite nice. I don't know how to swim that good, but I try. I know some little basics of swimming, so I really enjoyed and it was much fun.
Don't forget that Tunza is not about the sport. It is not about hockey. It's not about boxing. It's not about lacrosse. It's not about soccer. Those are the avenues that I have chosen to use to get to the end process, which is education. So all the things that we do, for example, taking these girls to Nairobi, is part of that. It's not just going to be about hockey. You know, it is building the whole. It is giving the whole experience. It is looking at everything that the communities we serve lack so that we can infuse some of these things with them. Sports is great, and it's a great vehicle to use to get, create awareness for issues that are happening in the community. Use it as a means to move out, to go do something. So these kids have been with us for about 4 years now. These 3 that went to Nairobi, and it is difficult for me to just sit back and just say, okay, you just play hockey and that's the end of it. No, they've worked hard, they sacrificed, so you get rewarded. You aspire to. You can tell someone, field hockey made me travel. Field hockey made me travel. Field hockey put me to school, put food on my table many times, and made me gave me an opportunity to make friends with a lot of people. So it cannot stop with the sports, especially if we are gonna say that we're using sports to attain other things in life. We do the best that we can, the little that we can. We're not in competition with anybody. We're in competition with ourselves. When we get overwhelmed, we stop. When we can do it, we push forward. Yes, so I just hope that people can see it that way and help us do more with this case. This was a very good experience. I wish I could do it for the whole team. I wish that it could be an annual thing that we do and take them for tours, if just even not Nairobi, even just within East Africa, like Uganda, Tanzania. There's a lot that someone learns when they travel, when they mix with other cultures, when they meet other people. It takes them out of their own comfort. It gives them challenges. Like one of the girls said, she never swam before and she was terrified, but she faced her fears and she left. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed swimming. Yeah. do with the girls, I always take from the experiences I had. I remember the very first time I went to Nairobi city, what we called town by then. It's now CBD, of course. My mind was like blown away by the cars, the traffic lights, the people, so many people, the tall buildings, and things were not as sky high as now. But I was a girl from the village, basically, lived in a small town in Gilgil, and it was the most amazing experience I had. And then I didn't do the CBD for a long time until I was now in college, and I had to go to college every day. And I remember my dad took me once to college, and I followed that route every day for I think a year. I was scared to deviate anywhere in town. I was like, I'm gonna get lost. I need to know where to get my matatu, public means to get back home. And so a lot of the things are inspired by my own experience. So the same thing when I first went to Johannesburg, when I first went to anywhere that is a big city, when I first came to New York, and big roads and people like different styles, and it's amazing to just travel and go somewhere you've never been. And I hope that they will take that experience. in life, and it's not always going to be in school. The hope is that they will inspire their peers. The hope is that they can take that experience back, and as small as it may seem to some of us, it will ignite something later in life. Some people would not see it the way I see it or the way Tunza sees it. Or I heard once someone said that, oh, Tunza hasn't completed paying tuition for these girls and yet they're flying them to Nairobi. And I'm like, school is school. Classroom is classroom. But you can take school also outside of the classroom. It is a sacrifice by myself. I work, I use the resources that I have and choose the things that I think I missed when I was growing up that could have enhanced my growth later. And so the narrow-mindedness of someone judging you about what you've chosen to do for these kids, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I'm going to feel the pain of paying the credit cards. Like, yeah, I'm not rich, I don't have money, and to me it is an investment in the child. It is not throwing away, funds and throwing away resources. So to those people, it is the girls have to go to school at the end of the day. But no one is going to raise up their hand and say, oh, I'm going to pay forward and send you to a trip to Bali or South Africa or whatever, or the US. No one is going to do that. Everyone is just settling on, they have to get basic education. After that, then what? You need to still open a way for them to see ahead and to see what's possible. And I really do feel I'm in a position to make that happen. Take this experience and dream bigger and inspire their peers. And you know when your teacher in school says write what you did last summer, they have a lot to write about. They have a lot to write about, and their story hopefully will go and touch the lives of others. You can always go to our website and click on the donate button to donate some funds so we can do more and more and more. And when you click on that donate button, you will be taken to different payment options. And yes, we are a 501c3 non-profit organization, so that is an important aspect. So much for everybody who supports us and everyone who wishes us well. Even if you cannot support us at this time, there's always something you can do. You can share our videos, you can comment on our videos, you can recommend us to somebody, an organization, let's say. You can follow us, like we have a YouTube channel. You can always share and subscribe. The more we have, the better. And whatever proceeds we get from that will go to Tunza.
Board an aeroplane, but that day Tunza made me to board an aeroplane, so I thank Tunza more of that. When we reached Nairobi, we landed at Nairobi International Airport. There it was so good, but it was tricky when the aeroplane was taking a short corner on some places.
It's amazing that we can do this. It's amazing that all the girls, all the activities we've done in the past, there's always a reason, there's always a purpose behind it. And we just, I just hope that more people can come on board and support us. So much yet to be done. So much yet to be done. So I'm looking forward to your support.
I'm glad that the girls went through this, because now their minds are open to the things that are possible in the world and how people live out there. And this is very nice, because I think Tunza has empowered the girls to be more than what we expect of them.
There's a significant change in how they were before they went to the trip and after. So it's a yay. I'm paying for the credit card now.
And also I appreciate a lot to Raquel for the things that she has done for these girls, because if it was not for her, not all of this would not be possible. I encourage each and every one of you to, at least, if you're able to, please donate to Tunza Sports Academy. It could be $10, it could be whatever your heart gives you. It will go a long way, because doing this from an individual's pocket is not easy.
I was so excited to see them enjoying their time in Nairobi, see them enjoying seeing the animals. Yeah, the village, the animals at night, the whole, but it is nothing compared to what they saw and experienced. I was sent over clips. Sometimes I was doing a video call and seeing how happy they are. It melts my heart. And at Tunza, I always want to do something for someone the same way that I wish someone else did for me. And so at their age, I had wished to get the same treatment, and now I'm able to make it happen for someone. So I am so happy for them. If you wish to help me pay off my debt for taking the girls to Nairobi, feel free. Go to my website, www.tunzasports.org, and click on that donate button. There'll be many different options that you can fund us. And your contribution will go a long way into doing the same thing and even more in the future. Thank you.
So Tunza Sports Academy is here to stay, and we hope that we'll get to touch more lives, leave alone our girls, but they're in the society. Thank you, and be blessed.